G2 Esports needed to step up when the moment needed it most, and boy, oh boy, they stepped up. And it's because of that guy right there, VALORANT, with some great calls and some great plays that led this team to a massive map 2 victory. But the job is not done yet for G2, and the job is not done yet for KRÜ. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi and Myrna as we break everything down. And that was, at the end of that game, the tail end of that game, what VALORANT was cooking up there, I agree with Sideshow, a masterclass. Beautifully done, beautifully executed. The man was like the wizard. He was just placing the pieces where he needed them to be. It was amazing.
I mean, it's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, how Tex described his play style as a chess player, and every player on his team was a pawn. It was exactly that on the attacking half. 2 masterful fakes back-to-back, again showing a great understanding of how KRÜ wanted to play on that defense. And it was after, quite honestly, kind of a rough first half. There was a very real possibility KRÜ could have just ran away with that game, but they had a complete turnaround in the second half. And I think that shows me that, well, they're technically the rookies. Oh, it's their first time in Americas. These boys are so experienced as a team together. Whenever they start to feel that pressure mounting, they're so good at just bouncing back, and VALORANT showed it here.
Yeah, even these fakes, like you can see that the whole team on that KRÜ side has completely rotated off that B side, and the speediness that G2 had, they knew that this is exactly what they were going to do. And when it comes down to it, there were bigger things that VALORANT was calling, such as those rotates, such as those fakes, all those things. But even those smaller instances where VALORANT was calling, you know, holding in the mid round because he knew that they were going to re-aggress.
It like reminds me of watching Finesse call.
Exactly. It's like these two masterminds and how they kind of call around this game, and the way that he was kind of approaching it and just absolutely round after round stringing it together, giga-braining that. I think it was an amazing comeback for G2.
I love the way that they were setting up in their post plants as well. They were almost always leaving Leaf in these forward positions, kind of sacrificial, but investing really good utility to keep him alive, to stall a lot of time and be super disruptive to those more set retakes that KRÜ really likes to play. He had a great read on this map, and it's exactly the bounce back they needed for G2 to return to this series.
Yeah, they definitely did. And some of the question marks I think that we had going into Sunset was whether or not the Sova was going to work out. But if you are Jonah P, well, I think overall, that worked out perfectly fine for you. Quite the game, and if anything, it just goes to show that it's like, this guy's a menace. You got to find ways to shut him down, or else he will silently just pop off.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be real. I did not like the Sova pick. I really was.
Really? Why didn't you like it?
I really was dogging. I feel like Sova as a solo initiator, like there isn't that much that they could do. And then we have like, you know, there's the flashes. There's no flashes. Like the info is great and all, but. Again, like, I didn't like the Sova pick, but the way that Jonah P, at some point, Jonah P was just fragging out. Like, I will give him that. Like, there was a lot of fragging out happening. But at the same time, the way that they approached it, you actually mentioned this earlier, Mimi, how on the attack side, he started using his util to more reasonable things, like getting that information or taking that mid-control or even faking or on the executes. And I think that that really changed my opinion on Sova. I will admit that. That changed my opinion a little bit.
But still not completely sold.
Still not completely sold. I still feel like we need another name.
I'm still with her. I feel like line control that you get from the breach is just so strong on this map. But I also think most teams are going to be running Cypher, and Sova's shocks are really nice on your attack side to be able to get rid of that. But I don't care what agent he plays. If he's having games like this, Jonah was so good. Yeah, I mean, I don't care that he's playing Sova, don't care what he's playing. He's dropping like 20 kills. He's going massive in critical rounds. That Guardian Ace, one of the big turning points of this game. He was electric at Ascension, last year in Challengers. Before that, when they were playing in Tier 1 and now back in Tier 1 again, he still got it.
Yeah, somewhere out there, an iBUYPOWER intern is okay, but it's okay because you guys are doing a cool thing. So thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead, though, and check out where we are right now in this series. If you're just joining us here, you missed some good ones in darkness. All right, well, here we go. So Icebox Sunset settled. KRÜ takes the first. G2 pops off on Sunset. 13-9 score lines across the board. Now that takes us over to the bread and butter of Ascent, where you're going to see these teams. I mean, honestly, it's kind of anyone's ballpark here, or anyone's game in anyone's ballpark, because genuinely, I don't know what we get. Are we going to get compositions that we're used to seeing on this map? Or are we going to get something completely fresh and cooked up? Really, you never know with these two teams.
Not everyone can be loud. I think it'll probably just be default. I think it's just going to be default compositions. I like some of the experimentation, but I feel like both these teams, especially for G2, really loves on their attacking side just playing these slow mid-rounds where their IGL just cooks. Sunset for me was a battle of the minds between Melzer and Valen in the way they wanted to mid-round, and I expect to not see super creative comps, but see that same game roll out here on Ascent.
Yeah, I feel like on Sunset, exactly what you were saying, the comps were so different, so it's like there are two different completely ways to kind of counter and battle it out, whereas now in Ascent, we are going to see, I think, somewhat similar comps, and I think that's where we're going to genuinely see IGL to IGL, how it's going to battle out mechanical skill versus mechanical
It will be a
skill.
chess match.
It will be tough. Yeah, this is Ascent. Like, everyone plays Ascent. Ascent has
Well, that's why I call it the bread and butter map.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it is, right? In fighting games, you always have your bread and butter. This is the same thing here.
Historically, this has been KRÜ's best map by a long shot. Kesnet is so good here. And thank you, G2. I love you. You're playing something different. I didn't expect it, but I think the Viper comps are so good on this map. We saw it yesterday. Attacking side, you can drop that wall whenever you want in mid. Fight your way in there. You can also have a lot more control of the extremities when you're on defense. Throw in those mollies. It makes retakes easier with flood walls to get back in and gives your Jet so many different options because you control when those smokes drop in mid. I think it is a great comp to see here. The Cypher also interesting. Most teams, even when they run that Viper, it's often dropping that Senti.
Yeah, I mean, that Cypher, we've seen players play really, really, really good Killjoy on Ascent everywhere, always. But Cypher, I feel like, has a different step. Now, the trips, I think, they've been buffed, right?
Sure.
I think KJ has been a little bit nerfed, so I understand that. And I think Sentinel-wise, no matter what, Nat can do this, and he can play a really, really mean Cypher.
Well, this is going to be an awesome game, and I think everyone in the Riot Games arena is excited for this one. It's map 3, and the winner is going to be moving on to face off against EG next week. Send it back over to your casters, Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Josh has got a little treat for me, haven't you?
Yeah,
this morsel.
This is what G2 were doing in their activation earlier. So I want you to see, I mean, what were they cooking?
Taste test?
Yeah, taste test.
Okay.
How does Brimstone's cake taste?
Thick. Yeah, thick.
Thick, well-cooked. I mean, this is a well-cooked comp from G2. I'm not sure I'm as sold on it as Mimi is. And one of the reasons for that is because contrasting it to what we saw from Loud, where they were running the Viper, Loud had huge amounts of exec utility, right? This comp doesn't seem to, in my mind. You've taken away the recon dart, you've taken away all of the like crazy flashes from the Breach, Phoenix, stuff like that. So yes, G2 are gonna find it easy, I think, to fight for mid on their attack side, but I don't know how they're going to get to the sites. That's a question for later on, though. For now, on the defense side, the Cypher can be really deadly. Something that Kesnet's going to have to think about when he gets there.
On a P, holding the flash underhanded to hear it with the wall going up as well, trying to really isolate those fights. Be taken, damage done with the nade on top. Jonah P stepping, getting so much value here. Even with the flash to reposition, there's an attempt by Clouds to punish that one straight through main, but it was shut down by Trent. 2 players left in market. Kesnet and Shy. Require a couple of kills. That's a great first one.
That makes it so much more winnable. They now have access to the whole of front site.
Off angle by Leaf though. Damage done, but no kill. Kesnet again, dash forwards. After dice, Trent.
He must have seen Trent. He was flicking that direction. It would have come up as a question mark on the minimap. They know that the site's clear.
And now down 2v2. Like I said, all that damage done, so Kesnet is weak, but he's already just been ripping them apart anyway! No way! Here in the util and the reload, whatever, Shy just jumped on it. Great opportunities, left it into a 1v2 now for Net. So much to do here. The face is going to come through any minute now. Kesnet, right from the back of the site. That's all him. Slowing down around in the right moment, but a pistol round granted to him once more.
We've seen Kesnet be a monster. In the previous 2 maps, he had so much impact on the attack side. And that round, they've just rescued a 2v4 to be able to win only their 2nd pistol. Not that it did them much good on Sunset, but that's a great start. They get rifles on board for Kesnet and Shy because they have so much money from the plant, from the kills, loaded into those 2 players. G2 are just going to try and fight them mid. This could be a brawl.
Smoke shot down. Really only the 1 sheriff. Klaus for jump spot. He sees everything. He's like, there's no way. Kesnet swings!
No!
Kesnet dashes even deeper! I mean, that's insane. It's absurd. It's absurd. Find me another player with as much confidence as Kesnet. There's no way. You see 5 players pushed up into mid on an eco, you're like, no, okay, we're going to react somewhere else. No, Kesnet's like, guys, I'm swinging, I'm fighting. If you don't follow me up, it's your fault.
Inspiration for Jet players everywhere, honestly.
I can't believe it.
Genuinely swinging into 4 players in mid with no fear.
The rest of his team's like, oh, okay, guess we've got to walk this way, follow up on it.
That's loaded a lot of kills into Kesnet, though. Because now he can play with utter confidence in this round too, and be close to his Blade Storm next round. Oh, that's a good punish, though. Valen instant there with the one-way. Don't know whether the snake bite was even required. And there's a trip to stop this lurk.
Go trip. Not playing off of it. Hello.
Not broken.
Not broken either, yeah. Kesnet is just fully lit up. Dash still there. Oh, God, straight past him. Another bite of the apple for Kesnet, but nobody there. In fact, he's just making his way into the site. Back to Jenny. Valen gets that one off. Jonah P from the high ground as well as a high-low setup. Jonah P still active, alive and kicking. But teammates to join him now with Melzer as the lone player surviving on KRÜ. Close to it. Pop down the smoke. A bit of a tap as well. Seeing if he can force out a reaction. What he holds for now. Just the nade. Moving around. Melzer is hoping that somebody oversteps the boundaries and maybe he can be granted free kill. Unlikely. Another tap. Look at the discipline of G2. Fully grouped up now. 3 players are not willing to let this slip. All together now. Nice attempt by Melzer. But safe hands ultimately for G2.
It is good team play, good discipline, making sure that they're double facing. The high-low setup as they swing out onto heaven, triple face towards the end too. In all of those instances though, somebody from KRÜ was still able to get a kill. So these KRÜ players are sharp.
Game's on point.
You can see the value of the Cypher though, able to spread all across the map, gathering information in all sorts of different places. And that same trip is up again. They're worried about Kesnet's lurks, and with good reason.
Get out of my way!
Blade Storm finally online for Kesnet. Particular attempt there with the bullets, but now he's clearing through Cat with the rest of his team. Really chance to explode with a flash. A dash available, updraft, potentially the same trip in the exact same spot. Walks up to it.
Taking away information from G2 in that area, and still a 1-3-1 default for KRÜ. Shy starting to come over to play with the pack a little more, but always got options of ending A or ending B right now.
Good utils being used, making sure nobody can swing from these angles. A re-clear with the flash. Doesn't get too much done now. Just that presence into mid, making a bit of noise there. Players still meeting them. G2 grouped up with a knife. Dodge. Kesnet still got a Blade Storm. Paranoia's beautiful on top of it. Doesn't have a dash, so Kesnet can't really just jump onto the opportunity. Still close to Generator. Needs to be some help here for Trent. Holding it down, but he can't do it against it.
30 seconds.
KRÜ, Kesnet, the rest of the squad, they've got every single avenue watched for.
Amazing skill on show here, being demonstrated by KRÜ. NTA in particular, the X factor for this team. I didn't have super high expectations. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. KRÜ are just finding so many moments
Here.
to let their skill be shown. If we catch, if we catch MTA in the replay here, I mean, the coordination from the team is excellent, but then Lucky just sips both of those players trying to set up a high-low.
Sublime stuff.
Coming back. Out of charges.
That experimentation at G2 with this composition maybe going a bit amiss. We'll find out though. Still early days, but 3 rounds for KRÜ on their attack side of Ascent is already getting off to a great start, forcing G2 down to the eco. Looking like they're probably going to be able to claim that 4. Shy still there. Kesnet, look at this guy hunting for the kills.
Yeah, this is already amazing work from KRÜ. G2 need to make sure that when KRÜ actually funnel into the sites, they have crossfires set up and pieces of utility ready to go.
And fire from net. Earns a free one. Grouping up now. Sure, they cut the noise. In and out this trip proved troublesome, but still they don't really have the guns to be holding the defense, anchoring players towards the back. That's Leaf and Net still close together. Paranoia, Net again. Finally, this guy's dealt with. He's already done so much more now with that Sheriff, and he's granted a bit of an opening here for Leaf. Round for the back, no shy. Just runs him down. Shuts it all down on top of it. Klaus, he's out wide here. Bit of danger towards it. Trent. That's 2 straight to the dome. Shine Klaus down, double face, out wide, Melzer, 1v1, him versus Trent, wins it with the classic.
Fantastic communication from G2, calling out the damage that had already been done to Melzer there, ensuring that Trent felt comfortable using the classic. And what a round from Trent and from Net. Net's 2 shots with the Sheriff opening that one up and halting the momentum of KRÜ. What is that?
Straight through the wall. Free fire onto the corner.
Crazy stuff. God, you're not going to be able to do this every time, though. And so G2 still need to make these adaptations to deal with what KRÜ are generally going for in the rifle rounds. Leaf is currently 0-5, but he's picking up the operator for the next round. And he's looking to try to take fights in mid. He's going to be favored on these fights because he's got control of the Viper wall.
KRÜ not looking towards mid. B main seems to be their aim, but look at that. Pulled out of Jonah P already. No command. Waving through. They're going to be waiting this one out. Everybody suppressed, just cutting noise.
And that's because all of the utility there made it feel like a fast B-pop, especially that KO flash through the window. Line up.
The snake bite, nades, all combined. Final pulse does it. Lockdown's destroyed. Players are rotating though. Maybe the goal of this was to try and fake. But no, Spike. Okay, I mean, Melzer still got this one. They're into the site here. Kesnet is traded, though. In through the back. That's a TP and a committal now from KRÜ. Already walking up, but they're blinded. MTA didn't stand a chance. 3 players now onto lane. Bit of a pause and a drop down. Still trying to cover those angles. How is Klaus getting away with that? Fallon, Utilo in his hand. Straight through the wall. It's on net. An Odin playground. What can Klaus do? Lit up now with a neural theft. Lucky to not get spammed. A tap. Once more, has to wait for the second pulse of it. Has to keep moving. Shot dart now committing out towards Dice, and a double play from the G2 players is enough to seal it up. 3-3 now.
The Odin just ripped through them there. Phenomenal stuff. And KRÜ got slowed down because they tried to teleport Melzer into sight with the spike, and he had to cancel. So then they waited for a long time to try to get in, because they were waiting for Melzer to come and deliver the spike so that they could get into sight in that disciplined fashion.
That Odin, baby, let that Odin sing.
And now Trent with his ult towards B main. This is where Kesnit's currently playing. They could try to do something fast, but no. A little bit of discipline, probably worried about that Odin.
That was making work with it. They've spotted. Drone pushing away. They've got to know now that mid compromised. 3 players onto Cat. With the guns though. That was into mid actually, just net. Straight through market. Pushed up though, spotted, spam through the wall. High pen weapons, Leaf only be able to return the one jump spot. Any damage done, no, as a shot gone wide, and all that space as well, the scaling from Shy. Didn't want to overstay his welcome there. Back to the Jenny, the MTA, what an entry. It's fast a bit, quick with it, now with a bit of pace. Spike still with them on top of it, so it's a 3v3, and a retake of Leaf with the operator makes this one a really difficult task. Not looking for the plant just yet though, now MTA goes for it. Holding to the corner, the cam's really causing issues here. Shot darts there, ult popped off, flash over the top, spam into the corner, straight through the wall, that's net. He's gone down and out. Onto the floor, MTA is going to be able to provide them with that information here. Facing that wide, comes with another one, and KRÜ win it.
What on earth? What a response from KRÜ. It felt like the momentum had been snarled up in round 5 and round 6 off the back of the eco that he ended up losing, but they've pulled that one out of nowhere. It's mostly this play. The fact that they got 2 people into tree without Jonah P knowing.
Klaus of these.
Yeah.
Follow-up at the end.
And MTA with the entry.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to get onto Valen before Valen can use his paranoia, I think is a big error for Valen.
Ferrari peak.
He needs to be able to use his paranoia to stop KRÜ once they actually commit to the sites. Well, there it goes. But this is an eco round.
Just trying to set it up, aren't they? Maybe get Leaf this orb. Played some for the next round, but... He's twice about it. Backing away now with the drone. Kisnet straight through mid. Can set up with the rest of his team. Big rotations from G2 now.
And Leaf, by the way, since you were talking about him getting his players from online, he's having an absolute nightmare of an opening to this. It's just getting absolutely outclassed by Kesnet.
Walking forwards.
Recalling my boss.
When you run the Cypher, there's no turret to just take your contact. These players actually tuck themselves up into a deep position. The cam.
I think that's seen Kesnet.
No. They are rotating away. They are none the wiser.
There's
and
no
Kesnet
way.
has slunk in, hasn't he? Look at this guy. Fox in the pen. Trip taken out. It's a completely open site, and he's making a call.
I'm surprised he even wanted to break it. But okay, they've given the game
30
away.
seconds left.
But the spike's getting delivered. Can close cross.
Okay.
With a skip and a hop.
Yep, Melter, TP across as well. Sight. Stairs haven't actually properly cleared this one, but Klaus, okay, they suspect that everybody has rotated off, but the call there still. Okay, meeting them. It is just the firepower, the manpower, with the Hunter's Fury on top, maybe enough to try and settle this one, because he's eager to take the fight once more. Just facing wide into it. Shy for B main is still watching that one, but listen, it's the Kesnet show, goddammit. This guy, he can't be stopped. One's a little bit more. Shy finishes that fight. 3-5, KRÜ leading here, attack side of Ascent.
It's not just the outskilling, but that is there. I mean, Kesnet, Shy, even MTA on some of these entries they've just been phenomenal with the gun skill. But also Kesnet demonstrating that super high IQ in order to find the entry for his team by lurking his way past the cam. That's a split-second timing and super reminiscent of what he was doing on Icebox and Sunset and now here again on Ascent. Knife over towards B main, letting them know that KRÜ are not playing that area aggressively. But it's such a passive setup from G2.
Yeah. No one holding aggressive in any of the extremities. Really far back in mid to play this time in.
They are making it look like there could be threats with that smoke. And KRÜ are respecting it for now. This would be a round for Leaf to come online. He's taking a very long sight line here, but he's 1-7, hasn't found an opportunity to get into this game. And because he's so far back rather than dueling up, KRÜ have this easy access down catwalk.
Waltzing in.
There is a trip to stop them, but by the time they break the trip,
they're just walking up to it.
Exploding onto Valen and Net. This is where the paranoia is absolutely imperative.
Again, spotted. No one able to really capitalize though off somebody getting tripped up into a paranoia. Dash forwards now from the rest of them. Net only good for the one. An instantaneous trade. Flash off to the side. Dodge. Leaf still with the one. Blaze Storm. Regenerated, rejuvenated. Dashing and backing away. Jonah P delivers it. Flatlines the enemies. They return. Not out of it just yet.
They needed that. They needed Leaf to come online. And Jonah, after having such a great performance on Sunset, carrying them through some of those big rounds, he also steps up for the squad. But the actual utility war, still not looking great for G2. There was a knife there that suppressed Valen and stopped him from being able to use the paranoia.
Good flashes, brother.
But Jonah P wasn't suppressed, and there's the rest of the team crediting him on being able to flash them in so that they could maintain heaven control, where Leaf and Jonah got the work done. This looks like another of the exact same strategy, but this time G2 are fighting tree. They're not just leaving it open with the trip. That might be a surprise for Kesnet.
Flash, anti-flash position played onto the top corner. It's Leaf. Does he see this inside the smoke? He's not watching. He's not watching. He's not watching. Side by side, the jet players are none the wiser. Kesnet! It takes him out. Flash there, right click does not do the job. Valen eventually, it's labored, it's messy, but eventually getting these kills. Trent still alive there, but eventually now brought down. MTA and Shy, they are powering their way through. Side granted and gamed.
And this attack side keeps going for KRÜ. So many rounds on what's generally thought of as a defense-sided map. It's so difficult for G2 to hold on. Net's got an impossible task ahead of him.
Turret in his face. That was to take first contact, and there goes the swing for Melzer.
And again, Brent, Valen's paranoia, way late. They're just not being able to identify the timings early enough to pull out the utility, use it, and stop KRÜ. By the time they realize that KRÜ have committed, they're already having to take gunfights. I mean, obviously this being a weird example, but there you see it, just in the kill cam. Valen's playing over towards Switch, and he's got someone in his face by the time he uses the flash.
Yeah.
It's not a big 5-person burst to execute. It's much more difficult for the defense to get the utility timing correct, and G2 are struggling so much with that. Meanwhile, in the slower pace, Kesnet is like an eel. He finds his way through the smallest gaps. He's like an octopus. Only the beak limits where he can go. He can slip through any crack.
Yeah, you're just making me hungry. I mean, 14-6, that's the scoreline for Kesnet. In terms of his kills to deaths.
That's so sad for Kesnet.
Yeah. Why is it sad?
Because I'm trying to describe him similar to an eel or an octopus, and it's just making you want to eat him. What?
I mean, he's popping off too. He's popping off. Listen, I'm trying to spin this one in a positive direction.
You're too sushi-filled.
Yeah, I really am. Okay, this needs to be a turnaround for G2. That's why the timeout's being taken. Adjustments being made. I mean, it's these quirky timings that KRÜ are taking by contacting up. Maybe refighting is the key. Maybe some hot flash plays, but
or just hard stacking off the Cypher utility. That would also be another one. I mean, trying to get an aggro Cypher can be main. KRÜ are not playing there that often. But Net keeps going for these that get info, but really deep information.
Gonna be a double peek off Cat with his flash of Jonah P, but they're gonna miss the timing again because they're just walking. They're missing the timing again. Jonah P, he's there, forced to just underhand it. And where's the follow-up?
They just can't get the
set it up.
They can't get the timings for this defensive util because they don't have people taking contact in the right spots. You know, they don't have that alarm bot to play off in mid or a Jet playing aggressively.
A lot of noise made. 1 minute now. For this one. The mid control. Similar positions being played, but all eyes set towards tree.
But again, no one's playing like an early contact position. They're playing to jiggle. The paranoia used way before the commitment comes through.
This is pulling the util out. I mean, they fake out the smokes, the TP, just trying to really force them.
It's going B split.
Again, the eel is in mid. The eel is in mid. I repeat, 2 players to meet him. They're going to be doubling. Oh! Sprayed through and down. Jonah P from behind. What a return and what an answer. Net's still alive at the back of the site, but he has taken some hits. 7 HP. Kesnet hot on his case. That's 3 in a round for him now. Sets up for the plant. Site to be taken.
Planted.
Pull down to Trent.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen
All going down now. Run out of resources, no mollies to force the fight. You can hear the jump spot. At least one of them, but it's the double face of KRÜ. Almost an impossibility. Trying to catch the timing.
Great try, but not quite there. The electric eel and the rest of the squad pulling up to 7. It's absurd what Kesnet is doing. And Shy, too, has just decided to turn up in terms of his fragging in this map. Every duel he takes. I mean, this was a sick play. Don't get me wrong from Jonah P. The timing, amazing. But it's just not enough.
KRÜ up to 7 on their attack side of Ascent. I mean, a resounding half so far, and there's one more round left to be played.
Even if they lose it, KRÜ are still in an amazing position to win their first, I guess this is not quite a regular season game, is it? But, you know, their first game outside of LCQ in a long, long time.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade up. Initiate.
Down from Shy.
Placing swarm grenade.
Players not with them here. KRÜ
Swarm grenade out.
sure what the aim of this is.
I mean, Mel's has got his ult and the spike, so I think this might be some kind of elaborate fake where they're deciding whether to go B or whether to go A, depending on how the reaction to this lockdown works.
They haven't really committed. TP into the back of the site here by Valen. He cancels it. Still with the rest of the team out wide. And spotted.
Look at that, they fake as if they were ping-ponging to A and just walk in.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The calls are just immaculate from Melza today.
No one to play off this trip. And they're just taking their time with it as well, so it just gets broken. Smoke, settle down now, get the rest of the team all the way in as post-plant can be played from multiple directions. Guns aren't good for G2. They do have one thing going for them. No command. The abilities. TP's into spawn, Melza. Didn't really spot anything from that one.
They are so slow.
It's really slow. Really labored, shy, close. Interlogs tucked away. They can't remove him ever so slightly. Beautiful shots though from G2, making a good go of this one. All up into their face as well, but yes, you're right, the time is ticking. The biggest enemy against them right now. They can't deal with these big main players. Trent is absolutely sealed it for them. And they have enough time, barely.
What a retake from G2. But is that enough? Getting to only 5 on defense. What does their composition look like on the attack side? How are they going to be able to get into sites without executil? We've seen Valen call an amazing attack side on Sunset, but I think more pressure on his shoulders than there has been in a long while. First game in Tier 1, and KRÜ are pushing them to the very limit.
Yeah. So many questions heading into this second half, really. All yet to be answered, a lot to find out on top of it. Golden Boy is standing by with the special experts as well to give us all the breakdown.
Yeah, that's right. I'm out here with the KRÜ crew. That's the name that I've given you guys. Well, for one, you guys are popping off always. You're here supporting the squad. How do you feel about KRÜ this time around, coming into 2024 season?
I feel confident about them. I think they're going to be top 5 in the league.
Oh, top 5. What about you?
I had no doubts going into this. I honestly think that they're going to be able to go to Madrid.
Oh, calling Madrid right here and now. Obviously, my boy over here, his voice is absolutely shattered because he's been cheering for KRÜ endlessly. So, guys, give it up. Give it up for the KRÜ crew. All right, I'm going to step aside for a second. Are there any G2 fans in the house? Are there any G2 fans that want to join me on stream and talk about G2? Anyone? Anyone? No? You come over here, buddy. Come over here. Surely this won't go wrong. All right. Let's see. What's up, buddy? Okay, what's the sign?
Yo, Valen. Yo. Valen is the GOAT. Valen my throat, okay?
Wonderful. Well, sir, you can go that way. Thank you so much for that one. And that is why we don't have nice things. That is why we don't have nice things. No, jokes aside, though, guys, we got some things to give away for you wonderful people. Can we just go ahead and chuck some stuff into the crowd? Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. One over here. Back here. Back here. Hold on, Colin, if you don't mind, my friend. I got to make sure the kids get them. Here you go. Here you go, guys. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Thank you for coming. All right, guys. We got to jump back into the action. Turns out I have some more stuff to give away. That's not my camera. That's my camera. And we're going to send it back over to Brennan Sideshow. Who wants some free stuff?
Okay, well, I think you've witnessed history. This is the last crowd work segment we're ever going to run.
Least unhinged G2.
That was so good. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, that even distracted the KRÜ players there. I saw Kesnet
Just looking around, it's like, what is going on?
Towards the crowd. Okay. Let me refocus for a moment. Well, then. So, Leaf has had a really rough game so far. Yeah. I mean, he had moments where he was getting outclassed in the previous 2 maps, but this is different. 3 and 10 really found it difficult to get anything going on defense. And like I said, G2's composition, it looks like it can take map control fairly well, even without the Sova. But how does it get into sights? It looks like the Viper Wall's going to threaten those B splits. But let's see. It's going to put a lot of stress and strain, I think, on Jonah P in terms of how he allocates his utility.
KRÜ are TP'd into mid. Going a bit of a pincer play outside B.
Deep.
I mean, they're so deep. They're going to be fast onto the flank, I think, through Cat. Fast as the play from G2 on top of it. Tuck to the corner, Shy doesn't win it. Good opening.
That's a fantastic opener from Leaf. He needs more of those.
Kill, but guess what? They are so fast.
Spike planted.
It's rapid. Knife didn't connect. Kesnit dealt with. Paranoia rips his way through to reposition. Everybody tucked into hell with one player left to play the cross. It's Jonah Peak here.
One enemy
Hopping
remaining.
up onto the high ground. Klaus with so much more to do, and he just doesn't expect the wrap around there. A pistol round gained. G2, perhaps what they needed.
Now, in the midst of all of that, an excellent pistol round that keeps G2 in things. Trent has a lineup that lands so that he's got a Viper orb one way between grass and tree. I wonder if we can catch that at some point, but you can see it in some of these replays. That is a really unusual one. Something to keep an eye out for if G2 look like they're going towards tree in any of these rounds.
Ronaldo just holding for the push, expecting the eco. One player to receive. Smoke's coming through now. Shy just going to attempt to play off the site. Now, it's always the risk. When you're not running the Killjoy, you don't have the nano swarms to just layer down into the smoke, so players could swing through them, but they're just making sure to watch them.
And look, it's actually an aggressive trip on the Market smoke.
Yeah.
As Net came out, he tripped Market, making sure that if anyone tried to pop flash and swing through there, they would get punished for it. So they have thought about this with the comp. And KRÜ shouldn't be able to get too much done here just with classics in hand, but their aim has been so sharp today, I struggle to write them off.
Thanks happening.
They're going to hit
back.
a trip.
Yeah, they will hit the trip.
But if they just play to contain and play for exits,
Looking to do economical damage.
yeah, it could get bad.
No chance to win the round for them. Running it down. Oh my god. Oh my god. And
Here
yeah,
are those exits.
containing, getting the kills here. They need to get out with that rifle and bulldog, but only one weapon surviving.
Clutch.
What an excellent prioritization of the most damage that KRÜ could do in that situation. You see a lot of teams just group up to try to only play one side of the map on exits and then throw themselves into the spike. But they really made sure to cover everything. So now G2 got a bit of a question, actually. Leaf is going to purchase up by the look of things. Kesnit's not real.
He's not real.
He's not real. He can't hurt me. He's not real. He can't hurt me.
He's a demon, man. Nightmares manifest.
So Leaf is going to buy in this round, hoping to get up to the Bladestorm, but he's quite a long way away.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that he's currently been playing.
Money situation's weird. Wriggling onto the corner, and it's MTA, but backs away with a knife.
Did catch onto Leaf, so they know the Jet is in A main, and that's going to pull Kesnit over. Look at this one way, right? Look at that.
Playing in front of it though, MTA. Depending on how this is cleared, if G2 choose to fight this one back towards it, Kesnit's making sure to cover that angle. The orb goes down as well. Look at this guy, so damn consistent. He wants even more for it. Does Trent dare step into it? Unlikely.
Man, where is the utility to get them through these choke points? They've got one flash.
Seconds. Orb finally up. Kesnit. He's just crouched. Does not care, man. He just does not care. Finally retreating away, but I mean, G2, they're still not through. The layers of the util to KRÜ, they're just saving all their pieces for this.
Where is the exec utility for G2?
It's just not there. Finally, you're seeing it flash over the top as well with that dash out, and maybe some kills to be found. Leafy's still alive
30
here.
seconds left.
Out wide, but
enemy remaining.
okay, Klaus returns it right from the side. KRÜ had full containment of that one.
They certainly did. They lost Valen early on, so that's one of the paranoias gone. But when they actually hit the site, there's only one high flash coming out from Jonah B.
Yeah.
Because they have to use some of that utility to be able to take map control earlier. It's a real worry for me with this composition. If KRÜ can just bunker down on the sites, I think they're going to be in a great position with the default composition. But the score is close. Having said that, G2 actually decided to buy in the previous round. Like we'd said, Leaf bought fully down, didn't get up to the Bladestorm. And now G2 go, yeah, there you go. I mean, what kind of lineup is that? It's like magnetic when it hits the wall.
It's nasty.
These players put so many hours into server time. Find the wildest things. There's some Viper main somewhere going, I've been using that since 1993, actually. That's old tech.
Yeah, it's always the Viper mains on the unorthodox maps. They just have the wildest tech. That's spotting Jonah P. Getting backing away, and it's so slow at the beginning here.
Toxins going up.
I think one of the win conditions for G2 on their attack side is going to be trying to bait KRÜ into fighting aggressive in certain areas and giving away picks before they have to hit the site. Especially in mid, where this Viper wall's dangerous. And wow, what a play.
Wow. Kill to be found there. Still, Shy drops down into logs. Is he going to be spotted out? They've removed all of them. What a play indeed.
That's amazing stuff. The flash comboed with the paranoia, knowing exactly how to punish that player on lane. And then Leaf getting warmed up, dealing with his counterpart.
Those are still with a lot of utility. These want to make a go of this one. Picks up a rifle. Bit to get lucky. Post plan being played. Everybody up onto the site.
This is just going to be a save.
Yep, thinking twice.
MTA and Clouds don't have enough money to be able to buy for next, so if they lose the Vandals, they're in a bad spot.
Okay, G2.
It is ludicrous that G2, and frankly, actually, all of the teams that we've seen in the Americas, are able to get so much value from the eco round when teams are also, I feel like, buying into them less.
Yeah, some of them are really maximizing it just because of the threat of that outlaw purchase, but
I feel like the game plans that we're seeing from teams on eco rounds are really well fleshed out this year to be able to get that first pick and then snowball it forwards. KRÜ are going to take a timeout again very early on in the half. I feel
Give me those back.
they haven't learned too much about the way that G2 are approaching things, but plays like that, the more that G2 have in their playbook with this composition to be able to generate the first picks or to be able to get into sight, that is going to make up for any downsides of the comp perfectly.
look even better for them. It's always the way as well with these compositions. You just don't really know, especially when you run something like this, like G2 are running on Ascent, you know, how it's going to be working out on their attack side. It was looking like they were missing the pieces, like getting bogged down super hard before they could even get into the sites. But when they get given main control like that, it looks like they have setups to be able to just explode out, capitalize off the util.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have smaller amounts of utility, it's not about how big your utility is, it's about how you use it, Brad.
Okay. Why are you telling me that?
Well, I just thought you might need to know.
I don't need to know, actually, and I'm not insecure.
That's fair enough.
Don't bring it up ever again.
So, but how G2 use the small pieces of utility that they have is going to be incredibly important. Maximizing that potential to be able to get picks off the back of them is, as you just saw, everything.
Yeah.
This round, though, Jonah and Net with Guardians not choosing to upgrade to rifles. Okay.
Interesting.
Here.
Jonah was feasting with the Guardian on Sunset.
Toxins going up.
Even keeping that half armor, I mean, he's got 4.2k to him.
That's a different lineup. This is the more standard Viper lineup, and you can see them picking it out.
Just down though, Flash to take control of A main. One player left to anchor the site. That's Melza towards the back. MTA, his job's to just hold and contain towards tree. You can hear the players now, and that offloads his utility along with the paranoid. That's a lot of tools used.
So much util used there, baited out by KRÜ. Exchanged, not too much on the other side. Leaf, though, having burnt the dash. Normally, teams are going to reset into an A split after this if they want to finish A. So this is, if G2 continue all bunched up in A main, this is going to be hard for them to get out through the choke.
Mollies might make it easier, though. Where did these lineups land? Potentially to the back of Jenny. Looks like it's in that direction. Here we go, finding it. Molly actually towards the door. So here we go, all 10 flying MTA. There towards hell, an attempt by Kesnit. More than that, he's granted 2 kills to his name. Spike drop down. On top of it, Trent. He's alone. Here's the footsteps. Holding the spike for now.
He's forced to abandon Jonah.
Truly forced. And now Kesnit wraps it up. Pretty and neat with the bow on top of it. That's the lead for KRÜ. Gained once more.
Just let them try to catch me.
I do think that was a little awkward there for G2 deciding to all pop out. It was an interesting creative idea from Leaf, updrafting on the entry to try to create a high-low setup and let the rest of his team flood in. but a little too late. Not quite enough pressure onto the people anchoring. And again, KRÜ looking really sharp with their rifle skill. The eco is in all sorts of weird positions here. Trent is just vying for next with only a sheriff, no armor.
Singing past each other towards A main. Mid. It's the goal for G2 right now.
And Net's done a decent job there getting rid of the turret. Have they? I thought for a moment they might have an angle to walk past the alarm bar, but I don't think they do.
Keznit with the dash, lots of targets. It's a rich environment. Alarm bot now there, dashing in the wrong direction, the wrong side. Can't escape from them. Not quite. Leaf. Never attempt for him, but he's not going to be able to get that kill. Still one might be good enough now, especially with Keznit removed. He's been a star player for this team.
These are the mistakes that I think KRÜ have to avoid. Giving away a pick like that when G2 are just fighting for map control.
Not enough duration on the drone.
And the camera from Net, again, just letting them know, nobody push behind it.
Contacting up and out of flash. KRÜ, Leaf's caught by it. Nano swarms as well. The rest of his team can't follow up through, so this is buying time for Shy. The rest of his squad, Leaf to just play this one. Klaus still close to the dice. Out wide, it's been covered. Smoke deep for them to try and pop through. Pistols now out the right clicks. That didn't work. Shrapnel straight through him. Melzer, last one left. Has to save, surely.
The economy's weird for both teams, but I think you're right. With Keznit and NTA not having very much money, Miles has just got to go for the save here. And G2 in a 5v4 being able to pop into B. It looked awkward, didn't it? I mean, Leaf was full blind, running through nano swarms, then swings with 30 health. It definitely looked like there might have been an opportunity.
Definitely was the timing, I think.
Yeah, for
somebody to swing
pick that up.
Klaus or somebody else to sort of like maybe Shy to swing through the smoke, but
they get away with it.
Uh-huh.
G2 are starting to pull back into this one. It looked like a fantastic lead that KRÜ had managed to develop on the previous half, even though it's only 2 rounds, just because of the way that Ascent plays. Very possible to close that.
Anyone's game.
With how tight this game has been, and the fact that we're currently at 9-9 as well, all of those conversations about KRÜ coming close, but then not being able to get the match win. Those are all going to start to rear their head again if they can't close things out here. Because it really looks like they're in control. Keznit's got 24 kills already. I mean, when he has performances like this, you should be able to convert them into match wins.
I think.
But G2 are primed to take the lead.
The perfect flash for that A main control. Smoke's used early. Against the eco though, fast play for G2. They want to try and burst themselves into the sights.
Timmy's doing his best.
It really is. Keznit! That is insane. Talk about nerves. 5 health though. A lot of damage being done to these players. Still the eco. Smoke drops off. It's so awkward, right?
This is a weird way to play.
It's really odd. They're all going to be just waterfalling down straight into hell. Can they even get these connections? The bullets are raining through. It's anyone's game. RNG is what it comes down to. Still, players survive. Keznit's there, 5 HP. And a dream right click misses. Leaf surviving.
Just as G2 drafted it up, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very deliberate decision that they went for there, putting so many people in hell, putting the smoke there too, all trying to play off each other. It did work.
That gets so messy.
But yeah, especially when KRÜ have stingers to play with as well. At that kind of range, that is dangerous.
Could have been a coin flip.
But G2 have taken the lead now. 10-9, their favor.
The attack side has been all theirs. Only 2 rounds game for KRÜ on this half. Guns by their side. KRÜ put a stop to it once more.
Okay, G2 looking to gather up towards B main, where they've got Odin spam off Shy's contact. Or actually off the turret contact. Oh, Klaus is going to recon off turret contact and then go for the Odin spam.
Shy forward, breaks the cam. Been using that one a lot. All right, does have the Odin spam with the turret now. Feels his hand ever so slightly though. Just gonna make Jonah P think twice. Pop flash. Now the Paranoia sent flying. Making this feel like a B hit. TP into the back of it. Pulling the players away for the rotation. Still 2 remain from KRÜ. Anchored, hard positions here. It's up to MTA with a nade. Drops down at his feet. Reposition him back down. Up to heaven. Melzer. It's a really, really tight angle. Valin! Oh, shot to the cranium. Kesnet's time to shine though. Let's see what he can do. Hunter's Fury from afar. Klaus seeking support for a long-range angle. Kesnet, it's almost grabbing a second one in that scenario. Shy, he's faster, but the double face of G2 is good. They've got that discipline in check. The spike. Klaus getting a reveal. Odin spam! Leading it straight to net. It's a 1v1. 30 bullets left in the Odin. Main position for Jonah P. Spam into the door, but he doesn't quite break it. He's anticipating the reflank. That's why he has to clear it. Time might become an issue. Jonah P is so much to clear right now for Klaus. Hopping over the top. Good movement in the end. The tap. Forcing it out. Shots fired from Jonah P. Now reveals his position. Off to the side here. Klaus trying to play this as well as he can. Almost getting this kill. Jonah P. Another tap. Wide with the swing in no time. It's played to perfection by Jonah P. He's won the round for them. I think very just about. Yes.
Klaus was so convinced that Jonah was going to be playing some kind of aggressive angle there. He was trying to bait out, you know, a push from heaven or somebody anchoring generator. He just couldn't believe that Jonah was playing so far back. And yeah, the timing, so close. KRÜ are going to call another timeout. It is just in time, unlike on Sunset, where it was already, the damage had been done at that point. But this time, the final timeout called by Atom, when KRÜ are forced onto an eco, I think by the look of their economy, and almost giving G2 12. Now, the eco rounds have been really powerful in this game, so I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but in all likelihood, G2 are getting up to match point here, and this would be a heartbreaker for KRÜ.
Come so close all throughout last year. I just don't want a repeat. The same for this year here in the kickoff. Like you said, the money situation looking too good for KRÜ. Not really digging deep, I think, for the weaponry here, but they have done damage in the past. Can't count this team out. Maybe it's possible to stem the bleeding, but in all likelihood looks like a G2 up to 12. Series point. Plays to meet him here. Melzer. 3 positions actually. Runs his little wee legs there into wine, so.
One suppressed.
Rest of the team not interested.
It's a nice idea defaulting into a B hit, but it hasn't pulled anyone from KRÜ away from this 3-person setup in B main.
Yeah, Shy's on the corner here with the sting. He backs away. Paranoia now. I respect that one. They are sending out Util though. Damage! No way! Like I said, never count KRÜ out. She's Guardian spam. Leaf being the casualty there. To be left reeling here. 4v5 for G2 now. They were good for it in the first map. Let's see if they can convert once more. It'll be much more difficult though. Uphill battle. Players to meet them. Still don't have main control. This time cutting noise. Bit of a...
And they've bled G2 out of all flash utility. This is my question again. 45 seconds, but how do G2 take steps forwards? Do they just have to brute force entry?
Might have to be the case. Waiting for the smoke now. Valen, okay. Paranoid straight through main. Pop flash play as well. It's all combined. Oh my! Jonah P, I don't think he saw a bloody thing. Kesnet's still there though, returning with a fire. The cavalry arriving. Kesnet doing his darndest. Still 2 players to meet them here. 25 seconds left. The call is to cancel. G2 Gonna start running up to mid, but they're gonna be met. KRÜ, gonna meet them here. Vulnerable, spamming them down. Spike dropped. Net, he's low. There's a door in his way, for God's sake. He's gonna try and burst this one down. Enough bullets for the jump for 12 seconds left. He deserves to goodbye. 10 seconds. Get a move on, son. Cam, so we can cross. Time fairly there, but he's got it. Has to stick this right now. It's up to Shy. Running with the timing. He knows it. Spam onto the corner. Shy collects the kill and pulls off the almost impossible.
These eco rounds have just been so dangerous. I thought it was an absolute mad play to go for the defensive reclear there. Because again, theoretically, G2 should find it really difficult to get into sight. So why are you offering them a team fight right before they would be forced to exec? But in all of the chaos, they actually found enough kills with the lower weaponry.
Yeah.
And then the scramble from G2. I still think it was a good call to try to go B. They knew that both players were A, but they hit the alarm bot, which vulnerable them. Then the market door was closed.
So many obstacles.
The 1v1, I mean, it's just mad. Absolutely mad. And now we find ourselves here with only one round separating.
You said don't count them out with the half-by weapon.
Yeah.
We said it. We saw it. Made manifest here. Timeout for G2. Has to be called. Have to come up with some corrections.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the end of that round that they'll be discussing. It's their more general game plan. And I think the fact that KRÜ went for that re-clear is going to be a real thinker for G2. Because actually, if you're able to bait those out, that could be good. Shy's been great today, picking that one up. How many times did he save them in 1v1 situations earlier on today when they had a player advantage and almost threw it?
Rhinoceros has been good for it.
Yeah. The Rhinoceros and the Electric Eel. What a duo. What a duo.
I don't think Kesnit's going to be happy with that nickname. He's going to do his best to make it not stick.
He's slippery enough. He can dodge a nickname.
Odin spam. A little bit early from Klaus there. Just hoping maybe they were opting for the B rush, but it doesn't connect on 20 players. It's once more the mid game for G2.
Yeah, they haven't really been in mid this early in the round, I don't think. If they break the alarm bot here, they're creating threats in mid real early. And that's going to pull people towards the center of the map. Maybe make things easier for Net or Trent to get a lure. Honestly, no one reacted to that alarm bot going down.
Door closed. Arcade is now theirs. Kesnit's still feeling safe for the time being.
Here.
I don't know how he can feel safe there.
No, I don't know either.
He just is not scared.
He's just not scared. I mean, the door's still closed, but
if they break the door and B split onto him, what's the escape strategy?
Oh, bullet for the head. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Door's broken, though. And here's Leaf, comes knocking. Over the top now with a dash and a flash. Maybe to set another right click and missed. Went a little bit wide. Shy pulling out the lockdown, drops it down towards his feet. Needs to push the back. Beautiful paranoia, yet Jonah P. How has he done that? Treacherous waters, yet still sails it through with the lockdown destroyed. And a pin on top of it. There's the 12th round.
Huge performance from Jonah P. Very reminiscent of what he put together on Sunset. He's top of the scoreboard for his squad. Just in front of Leaf, who's made a big
fully
recovery.
blind, man.
No, he was the only player that didn't get caught by the paranoia. We might catch it in the replay, but he bailed the rest of his team out. Look at him,
yeah.
swinging forward to cover for the other two, Valen and Trent, I think, who just got whacked by that paranoia. I mean, Jonah's been amazing.
He has.
He's just been amazing today.
Mad consistency across all three maps. Kesnit has dropped 30 kills, by the way.
And he has Blade Storm staring into Jonah, who has Knife and a null command to take it away. I mean, Kesnit should not be able to make magic happen. And unfortunately, this looks like Kesnit's going to drop 30 in a loss again. I mean, it just looks brutal.
Heartbreak.
But the way that KRÜ operated on that previous eco round, it got them the win. So even though they have Stingers and a Blade Storm that can get cancelled, they still have hope.
Gotta do it again. Gotta do it again to stay in the series. Jump spot through mid, now walking. the way through. Kesner just jump spotting off from the well. See if he can spot a head or two, but a bit smoked into the bottom of mid. Denying that information. Lambo's still there. Look at that. Dropping the wall timing in case there was somebody there. Now the null command through. No way! It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the Blaze Storm. Ripped away from him, but he takes out your star player. Leaf is gone. Flash forward. Shona P. Many players to meet him. Lucky he didn't end up dying there. There was a corner fight, but Valorant is the one who goes down. Shies to the corner. Sprayed them through. 2 players left standing. G2 trying to get this plant out now. It's going to take a miracle at this point, but that's what's been sailing KRÜ through these rounds of the eco rounds. It's all going well for them. Counter spam in order. Net was attempted to make a go of it, and Trent falls on top of it, so that's KRÜ. They've been good for the eco rounds now. This consistency is just ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. In the moment that Kesnet had his knives ripped away, he just plucked somebody. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And then this call, I think, is a mistake from Valen to decide to fight forwards. Valen and Jonah P had the spike between them as well, so that delayed the plant going down, and they ended up swinging into a bunch of people. Just put them in a disadvantaged situation. Right, I'm not talking about the... I mean, it doesn't matter the economy anymore,
It's
but...
down to 11.
I've just decided for the rest of Kickoff, we're not talking about the economy.
Yeah. Hunter's Fury is a tool for Klaus here, but... My God. Battling their way back.
Draw it up in Epic Pen, 1 chance, chat.
1 chance. Seconds. Dropping down here to flash spad again. Leaf lines it up by his team, dropping his feet to the Nano Swarm. Hot feet to it, somehow gets that one. Players though, off towards the staircase. They want to swing this one because they know there's no swing attempt back from G2. There's no coverage. Gonna P into the site. Out through main. Shy! Where's he got that? 3 players. Spike is still planted though, but this is such an odd scenario. They are aware of this, surely. No, for B main, they don't know the Trent's there.
Net baited for Trent, and I think this is going to be the play.
Has to be the human policy, no way! Ripped them apart! G2 take it! It's a 13-11. The Ascension team paves the way. They've got their match versus EG.
And a dagger to the heart of the KRÜ fans who've seen it all before. 13-11, the final map. KRÜ gave it everything. They looked amazing. Kesnet dropped 31 kills, and yet G2 could not be denied. Big resilience being shown there from a team who's been through it all.
Yeah.
Made it to an international event, won Ascension, clawed their way back, and are now 1-0 against the big dogs. We saw Bleed, the other Ascension team that's played so far. They lost their opener. The Ascension teams are 1-1 against the rest of the pack so far. The Genomates yet to play. God, what a match though. That really could have gone either way. There is so much parity between these kind of squads.
I look forward to the rest of the season, honestly, as well. You're seeing these teams so closely contested, but heartbreaking nightmare, honestly. Repeating close losses, but enough about that. It's all G2 here with that very, very close win to get their fight versus Evil Geniuses.
And that's going to be a huge one for them. G2 have serious chances of being able to make it through to the playoffs. They've got a group where it's doable.
Yeah.
And this squad, they've been at the top of North America before. They know what it takes to win. It takes grit and resilience, and they showcase that today, coming back with wins on Sunset and Ascent after going down on their map pick. What a game this was, though. I'll tell you what, one of the players that maybe isn't going to get the largest fanfare at the end of this because the team lost, but MTA really impressed.
Oh, yeah. For an opener?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, this guy stepping up onto a stage like this, a lot of players would have nerves. No, he was probably one of the most consistent players for KRÜ outside of just Kesnet pulling miracles out of his ass. I mean, you just you can't really ask for much more for an opening performance of this player. This guy, his KO was pretty sublime, setting up the most of them. But yeah, ended up with the loss here. It's unfortunate, but they're not out of the kickoff just yet. They have another chance to really fight back in the lower bracket of their group a little bit later.
And look what it meant for the G2 guys, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is what they've been playing for all last year. They were tier 1 ready in 2023. We thought that tons of those players would have been picked up for the top level. They didn't. They chose to stick together. They grinded to get here, to get wins like that. And it wasn't easy. It certainly wasn't. But they grinded it out.
And he certainly did. Well, with that being said, let's send it down to Van Silly. He's at the stage, standing by with Net for the Verizon post-match interview. Send it down.
Thank you, Brent and Sideshow. Chat, give it up here. It's G2 Net with the victory. Net, congratulations. It's been a long time since we've seen you on a physical VCT stage. I'm thinking about like Reykjavik at this point. How does it feel to be back on the stage to compete and on top of that with a victory?
Feels great. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to play at the tier 1 level and to play with my brother. So I'm just grateful.
And so far from just your answer, it doesn't sound like you're, oh my God, because it must have been a stressful game today. You went the distance against KRÜ. What did KRÜ have that made it so difficult to play against?
I would just say they have really good firepower individually. Like Kesnet is a really good player individually, so you just have to be watch out because they have some shooters.
Oh, for sure. And if you're thinking about, you know, you guys did the move up from Challengers, you played Ascension, you made all the way up here, and through the interviews, you're talking about how Challengers was a similar type of like platform in terms of competition versus the VCT in Americas. Do you still feel that way after this matchup? And what can you tell for the aspiring pros that are currently trying to grind it up to the top?
I still believe so. I think to any aspiring pros, just if you have a good process and if you work hard and you're diligent, anyone can make it.
Awesome. And the next question I have for you is that I'm starting to see you play a little bit less of Killjoy and more Cypher in between the last 2 maps of Ascent and also of Sunset. And when I see your name, I usually see Killjoy. Is this like a downfall of Killjoy when she used to be such a good meta pick back in 2023?
I would say it just depends on the player. I still think Killjoy is a pretty strong agent, but I just prefer Cypher more, and I think with the new buffs, I just think Cypher is very strong.
And final question for you. You're coming up against EG to try to play in the playoffs. EG is coming with a brand new roster, but do you still feel that they have that same type of like strong chemistry that they could take it to the top in Champions?
Definitely. I think anyone in franchising is good, or sorry, the partnership program. I think everyone's good, and you have to prepare as so, and you should take no one lightly, so it's going to be a good game.
Well, Ned, thank you so much here for the Verizon post-match interview. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we do have Valen on the desk with everybody else in Golden Boy.
Rachel, you okay?
No. I live with a broken phone. I can't trade in.
Okay, that's dramatic. Better plans Verizon. Everyone can trade in their old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus with AI on them.
A new phone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, I'm on Verizon. Can I still get it?
Yeah.
I gotta trade this in, right?
New and existing customers can trade in any Samsung phone for a new Galaxy S24 Plus watch and tablet, all on us. That's up to $1,800 in value, only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT America's Golden Boy alongside with the others, as well as Mimi. And we decided to put Valen to work today so he could break down the game and earn a paycheck. How you doing, buddy? No, seriously, congratulations on the win. Had to feel good to not just go out there and play, but also go out there and win as 100%. Well after this long road you've been on.
Dude, coming out with the first match and first win for VCT is so big for us in terms of just knowing that we can do it, you know what I mean? We haven't played in VCT since back in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
And to come out and get the momentum rolling early is huge for the team and the morale, especially going into practice. Going into a practice week when you win feels very good.
Yeah,
And so I just love my teammates. That was a very grueling win for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was easy, and we earned it hard. And I want to shout out my team for the incredible resilience. And they played phenomenal, especially in the clutches. We were coordinating everything. We had some inside info is we've been struggling in practice a little bit with some coordination and trying to get everyone on the same page. Just the dynamic of the team.
And is that just because of the changes and incorporating Leaf into it and everything?
Yeah, I think people underestimate how much of a difference one change on a team can make in terms of just your dynamic, your comms. Because Leaf coming from. People don't know this, but Leaf is maybe they do. He's a super vocal player. So it's actually for him.
You already have a lot of voices in your team, right? You and Ned are both crazy vocal.
Right. And so we had to try to taper that down a bit. And just knowing that all the hard work, we were going through it, just paid off in the win, and we're going to continue. My mind's everywhere, but
it's got to be after a match like that. Just quick to those of you at home, if you want to ask Valen anything, we have people in the back watching Twitch.
Yeah, we have people. It's not Ender anymore.
If you write something good, we might be able to send it over to him. But what I want to ask is, since that time, way back when at Reykjavik, for the four of you that have stuck together, because it has been a long time together, how has the team kind of changed and grown with all that time, now finally making it here to Tier 1?
Yeah, I would say...
back, I should say.
Yeah, I would say for us... because the game is so ever-changing, maps coming in and out, new metas and everything, just because we have a long core doesn't mean that our fundamentals or everything stays the exact same throughout the long period of time. You always have to re-innovate as a team and try to be different, or else you're going to fall behind, right? So, but the one thing that kept us growing is just our mindset together, and honestly, our time spent building relationships with each other. That's a huge thing for us.
How many years has it been now?
Over 2 years now. This is going into our third year by the end of it.
Okay. We consider this a serious relationship at this point.
It is pretty serious. And yeah, we just know how to talk to each other. We know how to fix each other, because it's never easy for us. We're not a team that just dominates scrims all the time or looks fantastic form all year round. We go through grueling process to get good.
Yeah.
And that long-lasting dynamic is really what keeps us pushing forward and trusting the process within.
Yeah. Do you think if the team had made it into partnerships at the beginning of last year, as you were with the Guard, with your 4 players, then how do you think that would compare to the team that has now been down in Tier 2 and had that whole extra year together, having to build back up to this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that it's hard to tell, but I would say we wouldn't be as good as a team, honestly, if we got straight into partnership.
You went through the trenches together.
Yeah, exactly. We went through Ascension, and we went from choking on lane at Reykjavik to going into not home territory. Although they were cheering for us like a home team, I'll give them that. It was still a feeling of we're going into a new area to compete, and it's literally do or die. You don't win Ascension, you're back where you just started, right? And so that pressure built us to have more confidence in the game, outside of the game with each other, and it's just kind of a concept of when you earn it together, you just develop that team chemistry.
I think in the off season, A lot of these teams have obviously been like cooking up new meta, new comps. Do you guys feel like for you, you've established somewhat of a play style that you want to come into it, especially like as an IGL? Or do you feel like you still have like a lot of things that you need to learn or a lot of things that you need to adapt to with like all the new comps and all the new teams and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that's another like banger question.
Sorry.
No, like these are good questions. I would say like.
Well, you're giving good answers, by the way.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, so I would kind of rephrase what you said as just team identity, finding your comps, your play style, everything. And that was a huge focus for us when we did our Berlin boot camp about 2 months ago. So we went to Berlin because G2 is located there and we had a whole like European boot camp. And that was a big focus for Josh RT to just build the team identity. And what that means is the comms, the comps, the process within the map, like everything you have to rebuild when it comes into a new year with new meta.
I mean, the foundation is super important when it comes to a team. Like tier 1, like foundation, if you don't have that all set, like it's over.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's how we've been building our team since the beginning. Get the foundation right, and then you can start breaking the rules later. Get your rules straight so you can break them later.
Talk to me specifically about calling this game versus KRÜ, because you were calling some amazing attack sides, honestly, across this series, specifically on Sunset, with all those fakes you were pulling off, coming onto this big stage for you. What's it like as an IGL? Do you feel like you have your legs? You feel confident? Were you just out the gate ready to make those kind of calls?
Yeah, I would say I came into this game pretty confident, and my confidence stems from when I know how I would react when we're losing. So, and against different play styles.
Do you think you learned that from the time, like Reykjavik and all that?
Oh, 100%. That's a process that you learn throughout your whole career of kind of understanding teams, tendencies, how to break down like star players a little bit. Like a player like Kesnet, you can never fully stop him. It's all about trying to mitigate him a bit. You can't stop a star like that. It's like trying to stop LeBron. Like you just got to try to mitigate him, you know?
That's fair.
And so that was really my process going into it. Just don't give him any easy fights. I was praising it all week. No easy fights for Kesnet. Please, guys, be tradable every round. Because if he starts hot, he'll tear you up. And that's what happened on Ascent. Like he had a lot of kills.
He got a few of those.
Yeah.
He's got like kills through smokes and everything. You're not even giving him easy kills. He's just getting them.
Exactly. So, yeah, back to the like original part of the question. Yeah, my confidence stems from just understanding how I would react in different situations, and I felt like today was a team that I can pull off more of those fakes and more of those. Try to use their groupy play style, like fight together play style against them. So we like split up more.
Okay, all right, well, awesome. Well, we did, of course, ask Twitch chat. And by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to lay them out there in the chat. We got one from Speed Spaghetti. Okay, what's tonight's celebration dinner?
Ooh, I gotta talk to the boys. Usually it's like a Korean barbecue afterwards.
Oh, a little KBBQ day, okay.
Yeah, maybe like a go home, get some pizza. I don't even know.
Okay.
That's like we're catering to Trent there, you know.
All right. We got a pizza. We got another one here as well. Any round you specifically remember from the series? And I'm guessing this is like something that just stuck out to you, whether it was good or bad.
What was your favorite round you called?
Or favorite round, yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh, favorite round I called? There was a round that I had, so we were doing like these fast aim main control into knife sight, as you guys saw.
Which map, sorry?
On Ascent, sorry.
Okay.
And like it got stuffed, and I just said, hey, let's do it again because I think they're gonna adjust to like playing more for a mid. And we got the knife and it scanned nothing, so we got sight for free.
Nice.
Like it was just like a recall because they were playing the same like throughout the whole defense almost. But then there was one round where I just felt like, dude, I think they're gonna switch it up, and we did the same strat and it worked. Another round that stuck out was, it was a broken round, like Kesnet got 2 kills on Sunset, like deep A, and we pivoted back to B and we just full contacted out, and Jonah was like fighting the guys like spawn on B, and it was like a broken round, but we just got it together and made it work. So that was the first thing that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The calls were good. The comps were also interesting today. Can you talk us through the process of coming up with these? Because you guys are bringing out like the old mech comp from like 2 years ago on Icebox with the Brimstone coming in, and then you're pulling off something that I haven't really seen that specific Viper comp on Ascent before.
Yeah.
So how do you guys come up with these comps? Is it you? Is it Josh? Is it some combination?
I would say it's mainly Josh and our assistant coach, Shaq, who just got
announced today. Yeah.
They work so hard to prep us before practice to like throw a new comp, and they know when they can try to give us like harder things to learn. And when we go through those like grueling practices, like, dude, what is this comp? Like, what are we running? And then we kind of realize like, oh wait, it's pretty good. We can make it work. And especially on this tier 1 VCT level, like you got to be different.
Yeah, you got to be clever.
You got to be clever. You got to be different.
What's the difference between playing in tier 2 and tier 1?
Tier 2, you have a lot of like warm-up games, I would say. Like we lost mid-season invitational, we lost like a lot of games versus M80 and online, and then you kind of build throughout the year, I would say, more than VCT because every match here matters so much, especially with the new like championship points concept. So yeah, you just have more time to like build and go through losses. But here it feels like you can't really afford to lose.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. The stakes are as high as they've ever been. So, you know, you're going to be facing off against some incredible players and incredible IGLs. And we do have a question from the chat. It actually comes from 7Etch. I'm sorry, buddy, or Tetch. I don't know. Anyway, it's which IGL do you want to face the most?
I would say Sadhak from Loud. I've always been inspired by Loud just because there's such a, I mean, we even saw it the other day on Ascent. They always swap up the meta. They always try to give fresh life into the game in terms of like what they're running or how they're playing. Yeah. And so I credit him so much. He's such a good IGL, and I want to see how I face against him.
Ooh, okay.
Are there any other teams that inspire you in Americas that you're excited to play against?
In Americas, inspire me. Honestly, like I could just name a team, but not really. I would just say I'm very focused on like my own team and try to develop like within ourselves. But yeah, like growing into the league, trying to get into VCT, especially when I was in Tier 2, I was watching like a lot of Loud because they're just so dynamic with their play. And so I want to see with that knowledge that I've gained from watching, can I go and
Can you beat the master?
Can I
yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. Well, speaking of, you know, having to beat the master, well, the meta has shifted. We do have a great question here from Thorfinn Haiva. How was this meta shifted? How has this meta shifted your mentality and ideas of how you should play?
It's kind of hard to say.
Do you even think there is a defined meta yet for this year?
Absolutely not.
I mean, everyone's still figuring it out.
I think right now, especially if Riot continues to balance the agents how they've been, I think all majority of comps and combinations are available now. I feel like a lot of agents are very balanced, and so it kind of just depends on your team identity how you want to play the map. Like we're seeing a lot of Gecko. You saw us run solo KO. Like who does that? You have no drone. Like there's a bunch of ways to play the game now, just because it doesn't feel like there's anything that you have to run. Okay. And so with that, I guess mindset-wise, like we're just very open to anything because we understand that as long as we develop the comp as a team and get down our like strats and way to play, we can really do anything we want. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air, knowing that we can come out with any comp any week. So
yeah.
How do you, as an IGL and as a team, prepare to play in kind of a tournament like this, where you have so few losable games? Really, you lose two, you go home, you reset, you're watching Madrid. How do you prepare for that when we're in a position where the meta's not set at all, where you could play any comp? We've seen, including yourselves, some squads play pretty surprising comps that you might not be seeing every day in scrims. How are you able to prepare and be ready to adapt to new things like that?
So I think start of year for VCT in general, it all comes down to who's the better team. I know it's obvious, but like who has the more flushed out protocols? Who has the better reactions to when they're losing? And because everything is, like you said, they can run any comp. As long as your dynamics within your team make sense and you have that trust built in, we could play against 4 initiators in a sense. Like, we could play against anything because we just have our stuff down, if that makes sense. Once it goes later into the year, where there's footage on your team, people understand how you play your comps, then it really comes down to a lot of mind games, switching up your comps and trying to identify how other teams play so you can counter more. But right now, there's not much to counter. Like, there's no footage.
So you're saying, like, right now is about the players, the team, the IGL, the synergy and adaptation. Later on, when it's week by week, it's more about the coaching staff and the preparation ahead of time and counter-stratting?
Yeah, perfectly worded. I think that's how it goes.
Which do you prefer?
For me, I love start of year.
Start of year, because you get to be a little wild.
I want to be a little wild. No one knows what's coming their way.
That's fair.
Oh, you picked Ascent on us? Yo, you don't even know.
You picked Ascent, we're playing default? No, we're playing solo KO.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's great, man. Honestly, it goes without saying that, we're all, just not only because we worked with you before, but we're all just really ecstatic to see this G2 lineup finally take the stage, play in this league, and show everyone what you are capable of. It's awesome. But let's go ahead, though, and take a look at the bracket and where we are right now, because all of our opening group matches are in the books. So here we are. You got big matches on the horizon. NRG versus Cloud9 will be our winner's side. Furia versus MIBR on the lower. On Group B, you have Loud versus Leviathan, and then Sentinels versus 100 Thieves in the lower. And then, of course, as we just saw today, G2 Esports advances forward to face off against the 2023 world champions in Evil Geniuses, but a different Evil Geniuses this time around. The streets have been talking, though, and the streets are saying EG quite good.
Yeah.
Curious, your take.
I mean, we don't scrim them, of course, because we play them, but I'll look on like the friends list and I'll see them dominating some scrims. So I know they have what it takes to compete. Like, no doubt about that. All the players are good, and Nature's on that team, right? On EG.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an interview like before kickoff. And I was saying that I think Nature is like an underrated player. I think he's pretty strong. He plays a lot of different agents well. And so nothing is free, nothing is given. We just have to go out and earn it like we did today again.
How big do you think the gap is in Americas between the best and worst team in the league?
Very slim. I think this game is all about the 1 or 2 extra percent.
Margins, yeah.
The margins are this small. That's what we praise in practice too. Like, if we get the basics down, and literally a game today is proof in the pudding for our how we've been structuring our practice, that just try to get the extra 1% down. Like, that's all it takes. If you're just 1% better than the other team, you'll win.
That's right.
Everyone's good at this level. They're all here for a reason, right? And so we're trying to like make sure that we understand that, because I'm telling you, there's no large gap between anyone right now.
We saw it last year. I mean, EG won champions.
Exactly.
It's proof how close it all is.
Yeah, it's amazing. Valen, love you, brother.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Super
much.
happy for you. But of course, job's not done yet. You have a long road ahead of you. And of course, certainly not done for KRÜ. Hopefully, we'll get to see a little bit more of them as well. But we have plenty more to come, of course. So make sure you join us, because the matches are only going to continue to get better from here, folks. We thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank Valen for being a part of the post show here today. Thank you so much to Athena coming in hot, joining us on the broadcast, as well as Mimi, as always, Vantilli, the rest of the crew, Brendan Sideshow. Everyone crush it. We'll catch you next time, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Valen.
Yeah, thank you, Jay.
Wide swing, maybe. Forced off with the volley, shy with the ace. E2 approaching, and that attack off was.
One enemy remaining.